They call it the casting couch, but for these stars, it was more like a launch pad. While the public saw glitz and glam, insiders saw strategic alliances formed in the dark. One socialite on this list turned a 15-minute home movie into a billion-dollar empire, but the thing nobody tells you is how high the price of admission really is. 1. Black China. The road to fame is often paved with good intentions, but for Angela White, known to the world as Black China, the road was paved with strategic relationships. You see, before she was a household name and a reality television star, she was a dancer in Miami looking for a way out. The thing nobody tells you is that China was a master of leveraging proximity to power. She started by appearing in music videos, but her real climb began when she linked up with the rapper Tyga. That relationship did not just get her a spot on the red carpet, it gave her a platform to launch her own brand. But here is where the story gets wild. After that relationship ended, she did not fade away. Instead, she made a move that shocked the entire industry. She began dating Rob Kardashian, the brother of the women who were her biggest rivals. It was a move that looked like a masterclass in chess. By securing a relationship with a Kardashian, she secured her spot in the news cycle permanently. They even had their own reality show, which reportedly paid them thousands of dollars per episode. What many overlooked is the financial genius behind the chaos. At her peak, Blac Chyna was reportedly earning over $20 million a month on subscriber platforms. She took the fame she garnered from these high-profile relationships and turned it into a beauty empire. While critics say she used these men as stepping stones, she argued she was just playing the hand she was dealt. It is a classic case of turning gossip into gold. However, the drama with the Kardashians resulted in a $100 million lawsuit that dragged on for years, exposing all the dirty laundry. But if you think her strategy was bold, wait until you see how the next person on our list turned a private mistake into a global dynasty. 2. Kim Kardashian. Now we have to talk about the woman who arguably wrote the modern playbook on using scandal to build an empire. While she is not black, her influence on the culture and her inclusion in this conversation is undeniable, because her rise to the top follows this exact pattern. Back in the early 2000s, Kim was mostly known as a closet organizer for Paris Hilton. She was on the sidelines of fame, just waiting for her moment. That moment came in 2007 with the release of a private tape with the singer Ray J. To put it mildly, the release of that tape changed everything. Instead of hiding in shame like people expected, she and her family used the attention to launch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The show became a juggernaut that ran for 20 seasons. Critics have whispered for years that the tape was not an accident, but a strategic release orchestrated to secure a deal. Whether that is true or not, the results speak for themselves. Kim went from a stylist to a billionaire with a net worth of over $1 billion. She did not stop with Ray J. Her marriage to Kanye West catapulted her into the world of high fashion and elite status. Before Kanye, she was a reality star, but after him, she was appearing on the cover of Vogue. It is a clear example of how romantic alliances can upgrade your career status. She used the buzz from her relationships to sell perfume, makeup, and shapewear. Today, her brand, Skims, is worth over $4 billion. She turned intimacy into industry. But while Kim used a tape to start her career, the next singer on our list was accused of using her phone to network in a way that had the whole internet talking. 3. Rita Ora. The music industry is a small world, and nobody knows that better than Rita Ora. She burst onto the scene with a unique look and catchy hooks, but her rise was quickly shadowed by some very loud accusations. The drama started when her ex-boyfriend, Rob Kardashian, went on a social media rampage. In a series of deleted posts, he alleged that she had been unfaithful with 20 different men in the industry to get ahead. He claimed she did this while they were together and that her career was built on these bedroom alliances. This was a massive scandal. People were scrambling to figure out who these 20 men were. The rumors implicated producers, rappers, and executives who could greenlight her projects. Rita never confirmed these wild numbers, and she dismissed the rant as the words of a heartbroken man. She maintained that her hard work and voice were the only things opening doors for her. However, the damage was done, and the label of being an industry climber stuck to her for years. Despite the noise, Rita continued to secure bag after bag. She landed roles in major movies like 50 Shades of Grey and became a judge on huge talent shows in the UK and Australia. What is interesting is how she pivoted away from the US music market when the heat got too high and conquered the global stage instead. She proved that you can survive a scandal if you keep moving. But while Rita denied the numbers, our next lady actually wrote a book confirming every single detail of her industry affairs. 4. Karine Stephans. If there is one person who blew the lid off the secret world of hip-hop relationships, it is Karine Stephans. You might know her as Superhead, a nickname she acquired in the industry, but she calls herself a survivor. In 2005, she released a memoir titled Confessions of a Video Vixen, and it sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. The book was a New York Times bestseller, and for good reason. She named names. Karine detailed her encounters with some of the biggest names in rap and R&B. She wrote about jaunts with Jay-Z, DMX, and Bobby Brown. She did not just talk about the romance, she talked about the transaction. In her own words, she used her body as a bargaining chip to get into music videos and VIP sections. She saw herself as a product, and she was selling access. For a while, she was the most infamous woman in urban culture. The thing nobody tells you is how much money she made from exposing her own secrets. The book reportedly sold over in specific large amount of copies and launched a franchise. She turned her reputation into a career as an author. While many people judged her, she pointed out the hypocrisy of the men who used her for pleasure but shamed her for profit. She forced the industry to look in the mirror. But while Karine was open about her past, the next superstar on our list had to fight rumors that threatened to derail her legendary voice. 5. Toni Braxton. When you hear the name Toni Braxton, you think of that deep, sultry voice and timeless hits like Unbreak My Heart. But early in her career, the rumor mill was spinning out of control. When Toni first signed to LaFace Records, she was young, beautiful, and incredibly talented. Naturally, whispers started circulating that she must have been sleeping with the producers, L.A. Reid or Babyface, to get the best songs. It is a common trope that female artists face, that they cannot just be talented, they must be compromising their morals. Toni has addressed these rumors in her memoir and interviews. She spoke about how hurtful it was to have her talent dismissed as a bedroom favor. The reality was much harsher. Despite selling millions of records, Toni famously filed for bankruptcy not once, but twice. If she was sleeping her way to the top, the payoff was certainly missing from her bank account. This highlights a dark truth about the industry. You can be the biggest star in the world and still be broke because of bad contracts. She revealed that she was making pennies on the dollar while the executives lived in mansions. The rumors of her sleeping with the bosses were likely a distraction from the fact that the bosses were taking all her money. She had to fight for years to regain control of her finances and her master recordings. It is a cautionary tale that sometimes the person rumored to be the favorite is actually the victim. Speaking of industry legends who had to fight for respect, our next entry is the queen of hip-hop soul herself. 6. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is royalty. There is no debating that. But back in the early 90s, she was just a girl from the projects trying to make it. She was signed to Uptown Records, a label run by the mogul Andre Harrell and influenced heavily by a young Sean Diddy Combs. The environment at Uptown was wild and hedonistic. Stories from that era paint a picture of non-stop parties and blurred lines between business and pleasure. Rumors have followed Mary for decades that she had to do favors for the men in charge to get her demo heard. People looked at how much time and money Diddy invested in her and assumed there was more going on than just mentorship. Mary has always been raw and honest about her past struggles with substances and abusive relationships. She admitted that the industry was a shark tank where men viewed women as disposable. She did what she had to do to survive in a male-dominated space. However, Mary flipped the script. She took all that pain and poured it into her music. Her album, My Life, is considered one of the greatest of all time because it is so real. She did not sleep her way to the top. She sang her way through the trauma. Today, she is an Oscar nominee and a legend who commands respect. But the pressure to please the higher-ups does not just happen to singers. The next actress on our list faced these whispers when she transitioned from a child star to a grown woman. 7. Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer has been on our screens since she was a little girl spelling out words in Akeelah and the Bee. But growing up in the spotlight is messy. As she transitioned into adult roles, the blind items started popping up. There were whispers that she was linked to powerful music executives to get her singing career off the ground. Hollywood loves to speculate when a wholesome child star starts landing edgy roles or releasing sultry music. Keke has always been very vocal about the industry. She has dismissed these rumors as pure jealousy. She points out that she has been working since she was barely walking. Her resume is longer than actors twice her age. The idea that she needed to sleep with someone to get a job is almost laughable when you look at her talent. She sings, acts, hosts, and produces. Recently, she faced a public spat with her ex-boyfriend over an outfit she wore to an Usher concert. It sparked a huge conversation about controlling men and industry dynamics. Keke used the moment to drop a merchandise line and make money off the controversy, proving she is a businesswoman first. She turned a moment of slut-shaming into a payday. But sometimes the rumors are not about the artist, but about their famous family connections, like the next socialite on our list. 8. Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey is the stepdaughter of Steve Harvey, but she has made a name for herself as the ultimate it girl of the dating scene. Her roster of boyfriends reads like a who is who of Hollywood's most powerful men. She has been linked to Future, Diddy, Michael B. Jordan, and Damson Idris. Because of this high-profile dating history, critics accuse her of using these men to elevate her modeling career and social status. The internet went crazy when she was spotted with Diddy, who is decades older than her. People whispered that she was securing the bag and using his influence to get brand deals. Then, when she moved on to Michael B. Jordan, she became one of the most talked about women on the planet. Her follower count exploded, and she launched her own skincare line, SKN by LH. What many overlooked is that Lori was already rich. She grew up with money. She did not need these men for cash, but the exposure certainly helped her brand. She has become a symbol of a woman who dates on her own terms. Instead of being the victim, she is the one who leaves when she is done. She treats dating like a sport, and she is winning. But not every reality star gets the same respect, as we see with our next entry from The Real Housewives. 9. Drew Sidora. Drew Sidora is known now for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she has been an actress for a long time. She had roles in Step Up and White Chicks. However, her time on the reality show exposed some deep secrets about her early days in Hollywood. During a heated reunion special, discussions came up about the things actresses do to land roles. Drew hinted at the uncomfortable situations she faced as a young woman in Los Angeles. She spoke about the pressure to be nice to producers and the implication that being friendly would lead to screen time. In the industry, this is called the casting couch, and it is a tale as old as time. While Drew did not name names explicitly, she painted a picture of a culture where saying no could end your career before it started. Her honesty shed light on the gray areas of consent in Hollywood. It is not always a direct transaction. Sometimes it is a lingering suggestion that hangs in the air. Drew's story is a reminder that even the stars we think we know have had to navigate creepy encounters to get their big break. Speaking of big breaks, the next actress found success in a very unique show but faced rumors about her rapid rise. 10. Zazie Beetz. Zazie Beetz became a star overnight thanks to her role in the hit show Atlanta and later in the blockbuster movie Joker. She has a very unique bohemian vibe that fans love, but in Hollywood, nobody rises that fast without people talking. There were whispers in the blogosphere that her close relationship with the creators of her shows went beyond professional boundaries. These rumors are often fueled by the fact that she was relatively unknown before landing huge roles alongside massive stars like Donald Glover and Joaquin Phoenix. People questioned how she skipped the line of actresses who had been grinding for years. Zazie, however, has always focused on the work. She is trained and talented, and she brings a specific energy that casting directors love. The thing nobody tells you is that chemistry reads are real. Sometimes an actor gets a part because they have a natural spark with the lead, not because they slept with them. Zazie has kept her personal life very low-key, which actually helps her career because it keeps the mystery alive. She lets her performance do the talking. But the next artist on our list has never been shy about showing off her assets to get attention. 11. Teyana Taylor. Teyana Taylor is a triple threat. She dances, sings, and acts. She first popped up on my Super Sweet 16, but she really broke the internet when she appeared in Kanye West's music video for Fade. Her body was the topic of conversation for months. Naturally, when a woman uses her physical form to capture attention, the rumors follow. People speculated that she was the muse for several rappers and that her role in the Good Music label was solidified by her personal relationships. Teyana has laughed off these rumors for years. She is known for being one of the hardest-working women in the game. She choreographs for other artists and directs music videos. The idea that she slept her way to the top ignores the fact that she is often the most talented person in the room. She has been signed to labels that shelved her albums, and she had to fight to get her music released. If she was sleeping with the boss, her album rollout probably would have been smoother. Instead, she dealt with delays and frustration, which suggests she was actually refusing to play the game. She eventually retired from music out of frustration with the politics, proving that integrity meant more to her than fame. But speaking of label politics, our next rapper had a very public relationship with a group member that defined her early career. 12. Saweetie. Saweetie burst onto the scene with her hit song, Icy Girl. She is beautiful, educated, and has a marketing degree from USC. But for a long time, her career was overshadowed by her relationship with Quavo from the group Migos. They were the power couple of hip-hop. They flaunted expensive gifts and glitzy dates. Critics said Saweetie was only famous because she was dating a Migo. The rumors got nasty when they broke up. There was a now infamous video leaked of them fighting in an elevator over a suitcase. After the split, Quavo released a song suggesting he repossessed a Bentley he had gifted her. The narrative was that she was using him for status and material goods. Saweetie fought back against this image. She emphasized that she writes her own raps and funds her own lifestyle. She pointed out that men in the industry are intimidated by a woman who hustles just as hard as they do. She leveraged the breakup to fuel her singles and brand deals with fast food chains like McDonald's. She showed that she could stand on her own 2 feet without a famous boyfriend by her side. But the next rapper on the list faced an even more traumatic situation that divided the entire music industry. 13. Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is a powerhouse. She has Grammys and #1 hits. But her rise has been plagued by misogynistic rumors. After the terrible incident where she was shot in the foot by Tory Lanez, the internet turned against her. Blogs and social media trolls accused her of sleeping with the entire industry. They claimed she slept with DaBaby, G-Eazy, and high-ranking executives at Roc Nation to get her push. It was a smear campaign designed to discredit her as a victim. The logic was that if she was promiscuous, she did not deserve sympathy. It was a brutal display of how rumors are weaponized against black women. Megan stood tall through it all. She addressed the haters in her music and in court. She proved that the rumors were just noise created to distract from the violence she endured. Her success is backed by data. She streams in the billions. You do not get those numbers just by dating executives. You get them by connecting with fans. Megan turned her trauma into a message of resilience. She is a prime example of someone who reached the top despite the rumors, not because of them. But looking back at Hollywood history, even Oscar winners are not safe from the gossip, as we see with our next star. 14. Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita Nyong'o seems like the perfect Hollywood darling. She won an Oscar for her very first movie role in 12 Years a Slave. That kind of instant success is rare. In a town built on jealousy, people started whispering, "How did she get so far so fast?" The rumors were subtle, but they were there, suggesting she had charmed the right directors. However, Lupita later revealed a much darker reality. She wrote an op-ed detailing how Harvey Weinstein tried to pressure her into his hotel room. He offered her a massage and promised to help her career if she complied. Lupita refused. She ran out of the room. She stood her ground. This revelation killed the rumors that she slept her way to the top. It proved she actually succeeded in spite of refusing the advances of the most powerful man in Hollywood. Her story is a powerful testimony. It shows that the casting couch is very real, but you do not have to sit on it to win. Lupita paved a path with dignity. She showed that talent coupled with integrity is a force that cannot be stopped. But sometimes the pressure to compromise comes early in a career, before the awards and the fame, as our next actress discovered. 15. Taraji P. Henson. Taraji P. Henson is a hustler. She studied drama at Howard University and came to Hollywood as a single mother with $700 in her pocket. In her memoir, Around the Way Girl, she opens up about the gritty reality of the business. She talks about the times she was lowballed on pay and the times men in power looked at her like a piece of meat. There were always rumors that to get the lead roles in urban dramas, you had to be friendly with the directors. Taraji has been in the game for decades, starring in everything from Baby Boy to Empire. She has faced speculation about her relationships with co-stars, but Taraji shuts it down with her resume. She is known for being professional and fierce on set. She advocates for equal pay and better treatment for women. She famously fired her entire team when they failed to capitalize on her Empire success. That is not the move of someone who sleeps their way to success. That is the move of a boss who knows her worth. She built her empire brick by brick. But the next woman on our list is arguably the most beautiful woman in the world. And that title comes with its own set of problems. 16. Halle Berry. Halle Berry was the first black woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress. She is a legend, but throughout the 90s, she was dogged by rumors. Being a former beauty queen and a Bond girl, people assumed she used her looks to manipulate men. There were stories about her dating co-stars and producers to secure her spot on the A-list. Hallie has been very open about her difficult romantic life. She has been married and divorced several times. If she was using men for her career, she certainly did not have good luck with them personally. She has spoken about the sexism she faced, where directors only wanted to cast her as the pretty face. She had to fight to be taken seriously as a dramatic actress in Monsters Ball. The thing nobody tells you is that being beautiful can be a trap. People assume everything is handed to you. Hallie had to work twice as hard to prove she was more than just eye candy. She shattered the glass ceiling, and she did it while dealing with messy public breakups that the tabloids loved to exploit. But while Hallie fought for respect in film, our next star fought for survival in theater and TV. 17. Viola Davis. Viola Davis is considered one of the greatest actors of her generation. But her journey was not easy. In her book Finding Me, she details the abject poverty she grew up in. When she got to Hollywood, she faced a different kind of struggle. She was told she was not classic beauty material. This protected her from some of the video vixen rumors, but she still faced the predatory nature of the industry. She has spoken about navigating a world where men hold all the keys. While she was not accused of sleeping her way to the top in the traditional tabloid sense, she had to navigate the advances and the power dynamics that threatened to crush her spirit. She focused intensely on her craft, studying at Juilliard and working on the stage. Her success is the ultimate rebuttal to the idea that you need to compromise to win. She won the Triple Crown of acting, an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. She achieved this by being undeniably good at her job. She forced the industry to bow to her talent. But not everyone deals with the industry by being open. Some, like our next rapper, keep everything a secret. 18. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is a pioneer. She broke into the rap game when it was entirely male-dominated. Because she was a woman in a boys' club, rumors about her personal life have swirled for 30 years. People constantly speculated about who she was dating and what she did to get her deals. Was she dating the producers? Was she secretly seeing women? Latifah adopted a policy of silence. She never confirmed or denied anything. She let her work speak for itself. From her sitcom Living Single to her Oscar-nominated role in Chicago, she built a diversified portfolio. She became a spokesperson for CoverGirl and started her own production company. By refusing to engage with the rumors, she took the power away from the gossip columns. She proved that your private life does not have to be the price of your fame. She slept well at night knowing she kept her dignity intact. But speaking of dignity, the next actress played arguably the strongest female icon in music history and had to fight for the role. 19. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is known for her arms and her intensity. When she was cast as Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It, it was the role of a lifetime. But in Hollywood, whenever two actresses are up for a part, rumors fly about what the winner did to get it. Angela had to beat out huge stars like Halle Berry and Whitney Houston for that role. Some whispered that she must have had an inside track, but anyone who watches that movie knows the truth. She got the part because she transformed into Tina. She worked out until she was physically shredded. She learned the dance moves. She embodied the pain and the power. Angela has maintained a very stable personal life, married to actor Courtney B. Vance for many years. This stability is rare in Hollywood, and it shields her from many of the nastier rumors. She represents the old-school work ethic, where sweat equity matters more than bedroom alliances. But finally, we have an actress who started as a teenager and grew into a director. 20. Regina King. Regina King has been in our living room since the 80s on the show 227. Growing up on camera is hard. When she transitioned to movies like Jerry Maguire and Friday, she was the cool girl everyone loved. But as she got older and started winning Oscars and directing major films, the whispers started. How does someone stay relevant for 4 decades without playing the dirty game? Regina credits her longevity to pivoting. When the acting roles for women her age started to dry up, she did not look for a producer boyfriend. She picked up a camera. She started directing episodes of TV shows like Scandal and Insecure. She created her own opportunities. The thing is, people want to believe there is a shortcut. They want to believe that these women sold their souls or their bodies to get ahead. But in Regina's case, and many others on this list, the secret weapon was actually persistence. She is proof that while sex might open a door, only talent can keep you in the room for 40 years.